Yes, hi everyone. I'm Queen Cleopatra, and I would just like to talk to you guys today about a very important fact which I've seen in my own life, and especially now in the time of the coronavirus and our crisis. How we ought to live our life in order to survive and in order for God to hear our plight and to save us out of this epidemic. And I believe that we are in this epidemic for a reason because God is obviously talking to us, to each one of us, to me as well, that we have to get our life ready. We have to get ourselves ready because we are in the end times, and in a short while Jesus will come. I don't know if you've heard about the rapture, but I'm sure the rapture is at hand. It will be one of these days. So we truly have to get ourselves ready. Spiritually, we have to fix our relationship with Christ, and we really have to focus on that. I mean, as we can see how everything is turned out, we are definitely at the end. So my first point tonight is I want to talk about the Ten Commandments. I know for each of us who is living in this modern day, you probably just roll your eyes and think, oh well, you know, how are we supposed to follow the Ten Commandments when life already is so disturbing? And you know in today's life, people are lying, cheating all the time. Nobody really respects their parents and all these type of things, and people kill each other daily. So why should we have to follow the Ten Commandments? Because God has spoken to me in this time. I also had to check myself, and he had spoken to me about why a lot of us are not blessed. And before I actually got really blessed after doing what God had told me, I also was, just like everybody, just living my life. But I had always had like a habit of fasting, you know. There was once I actually fasted for 40 days, and I had always had this habit whenever I knew I was in a crisis, to fast. And I started to fast early mornings from 8 up to 12 in the morning for at least up to a few days. It depends how many days you are used to fasting. I started with 3, and then later with up to 7 days. So it depends, if you've ever fasted or never before. If you are a beginner in fasting, I would suggest that you just do an hour every morning, because otherwise, the task becomes demeaning. And at first, you just start for 3 days, and if you're strong, you can do it up to 7 days, because if you take the number 7, it is it's a godly number, and it's the number of breakthrough. So if you really want something in your life to start or to end, you have to fast up to 7 days. Because usually when we fast, it's because we are making we are it's almost like to give up something, to say no. I won't eat today, or I won't drink today, or something like that. So to fast is to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice something before the Lord, so he can hear you, so he can see you. Not that he doesn't see you, but this is just the way that it is. It's like certain processes you have to do to get certain blessings. So fasting for me has really opened up my life. It has really broken a lot of things in my life which held me back, or which kept me from my destiny, from getting that which belongs to me, also from returning what the devil has stolen from me. So to fast in the beginning, I would suggest, like I say, if you are a beginner, you fast for 3 days, early in the morning from 8 to 12, or you can make it an hour. And after that, you can fast up to 7 days, because 7 is the breakthrough number. But if you're just starting, obviously everything won't just be that easy. But you will get an answer up to 7 days. I feel that something will happen to you, because with me, first a few days that I had fasted, I could feel a difference in my body, in my soul. I felt more stronger spiritually, because what fasting does, it makes you stronger spiritually. It also cleanses you out from any spiritual entities or things that are inside you which is blocking you. Spiritual blockages. It destroys those spiritual blockages. It removes it from you. So you might even, have like, what I say, your stomach might start, let's say, going out, because all these toxins, which might actually be demonic toxins, is leaving your body. You might feel like you want to throw up. You might actually become sick after fasting for the first few days. So don't be alarmed. This is just the way that God is dealing with these things to get them out so He can bless you. So your blessings can come through and Satan is not blocking you. The more that you fast, it will become easier. You won't become sick as much. I'm not saying everybody will become sick. It depends on the blockages you have inside your spiritual self, because a lot of us have not really been, doing our spiritual routines as much. If you've ever had a spiritual routine, but just to give everybody a heads up, just as you practice at the gym, you need to practice your spiritual side, because this is what happens when you're in a crisis. You have not practiced your spiritual side, your spiritual senses. So when you're in a crisis, you do not know what to do because you have got no spiritual sense and you have no relationship with Christ either. So it doesn't just mean that you do once of prayer. You have to practice also to be spiritual, not religious, but you have to practice what God teaches you, the teachings of Christ. You have to practice them. So, but the first thing for me is living a holy life. That is the most important thing. So I want to speak about our 10 commandments. I'm sure we all know what they are. You can read it up if you do not know what they are. Please read it up. So we have to follow the 10 commandments if you want God's blessings in your life, especially in this time where people are losing their jobs, so you've got no more external help. We have to start to focus internally. We have to renew the way we think. We have to renew our minds. So this is no more just, if you want to be enlightened, you have to become a Buddhist or something like that. From now on, this is the way we will have to live. You will have to live a spiritual, enlightened life. You will have to become enlightened in order to deal with what we are going through now. Yes, because we have to now start to focus internally, because externally there's nothing to focus on. This is why people are becoming hopeless and they are pleading suicide, they're killing their kids, all this type of thing, which is very sad. This is not necessary. If I have to tell you how God has blessed me, and this is just because of the fact that I started to fast, not just started, I've been living like that for quite some time now, but that I know the secret of fasting, that I've been fasting, especially in this time, and I've been reminding God of the promises that He had promised me and He had blessed me. But this all comes through fasting, because when you fast, you are more open to God. When you give up something, then God listens. He sees your sacrifice, because He sees this, that you are serious. You are willing to give up something. He says also, have no other gods before me. So when you fast, you are not focusing on worldly things, on TV, on music, on those type of things which keep you away from Him. So my first thing that I'm teaching you today is to follow the 10 commandments. So make sure you follow this. Do not plead adultery. This is a big thing, because I see a lot of people who are married, they are cheating on their spouses. This is a big thing that God has spoken to me about. People should respect their marriages, because the foundation of the whole society is the marriage. This is where everything is going into a frenzy, because if there is no respect in the marriage, people are cheating around. The children, they also go haywire. This is where drug abuse, where all these things, because the foundation of the family is marriage. And this is where they will learn about the 10 commandments, where they will learn about spirituality, where they will learn about where to focus when they have nothing. And this is why people are now running. They don't know what to do, because they were not focusing on God at all, because they had jobs, they had money. Now all these things have been taken away. Some people are still working, but we do not know how long. So please, people, do not play suicide. Do not run wherever. Don't kill your kids. Start to focus on God. Start to follow the 10 commandments. Secondly, start to fast. At least fast for 7 days. If you have any questions, you can write on my comments. You can ask me for advice. I'm more than willing. God has really called me to do this, to speak to people on this issue, because I see people are becoming hopeless. They really do not have, the way of how to deal with this. But because I've been doing this for quite some time, and God had spoken to me about this for quite some time, whereby I had been fasting and I'd been living this type of life for a long time, because I myself had a lot of challenges in my life that I overcame through fasting and through living a holy life before God. And when you are married, I'm also married. When you are married, you have to follow the teachings of Christ in your marriage. Do not do what you feel you ought to do. This brings a curse. If you read in Deuteronomium, I don't know which one specifically, but if you read in Deuteronomium, I will look that up in my next video and explain it more in detail. There is a way of life that brings a cursed life. There is a way of life that brings a blessed life. So if you follow the 10 commandments, if you live a holy life before God, I'm not saying you must be a saint overnight. I'm saying you must learn step by step how to do this. Next time when you see a beautiful woman and you are married, look away. The Bible also says, cut off your right arm if it's giving you problems, if it's keeping you from the kingdom of God. So these small things, just start to discipline yourself in small ways. This is how God brings about blessing. And this is where we fault. We fault God. We ask, where is God in this time? But are we following God's laws? Are we doing what God is asking us? To live a holy life. This is the first big thing that God has talked to me about. And to follow the 10 commandments. This is very important. And more than not, to ask God's wisdom in anything. If you're getting angry at your child, if you're getting angry at yourself because there's no food in the house, there's nothing in the house, go onto your knees and, like I said, ask God's wisdom. And then the second thing is start to fast. If you start to fast, you will get the inner strength and God will bless you supernaturally. If I can explain to you all the supernatural gifts God has given me, you will not believe it. And there is so much more. You do not have to suffer. There is so much more. If you focus internally, then God will do the impossible. It's just because we've never focused on God. Now we have to. So I will end this talk now, but you can look out for much more videos. I will keep you up to date as to what God is telling me. But for the time being, please follow the 10 commandments. Keep yourself holy. Don't sleep around. If you're married, stay in your marriage. If you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, you probably have to get married, because in the Bible you cannot have sex before marriage. So live a holy life or become celibate. If you are serious about God and serious about your life and your children's life, do what the Bible says. Follow the 10 commandments. So if you are out of that, it will be difficult for God to bless you, because God is holy. So this is all I have to say. I'm Queen Cleopatra. Thank you.